I haven't recorded in a little while, so I thought I'd just prepare a little and get used to using the cameras again. So that's what this is about. I'm just prepping for a video. So this is what I do to prep for a video. I get myself some scrap wood, talk to myself, and start cutting. Takes a while to set up. Takes longer than I expected to set up videos, but I find it quite useful. This is like a behind the scenes. Maybe in this one I can show you how to use a plane. There's a nice bench plane. It's a... what's the number on this one? So there is a number here, it's hard to see. That says number 5. So it's a number 5 bench plane. And there's different types of bench planes. So I'll do another video on the bench planes and explain the different types of videos. This one, I'll just talk about how to use it. I'll do another video on all the parts of a plane as well. But it kind of helps in my head to do those videos first and then explain this, because that's how I would teach it in the class. But I can't always do the videos in that order. So this is how you'd use a plane. Nice bench plane. You got to stand. Can't see my feet. You barely see my feet in that one. Might see it from over there. In a fairly sturdy position, because you're actually pushing quite hard and putting a good bit of force to move that. And if that's there, you could end up slipping. So you don't want to slip. So feet wide apart, shoulder width or more apart. Steady balance, so if you were actually going to be pushed, you wouldn't fall over. Or you can rock, that's the old way of dancing. Just keep your feet still and don't move. Just move your body. So you're fairly sturdy. And not that unlike using a saw. Hold that with your 3 fingers and your thumb. You can put your index finger out, not always, and hand on that handle on the back, hand on the knob. So it's handy to have both hands on the tool, because both hands on the plane, because if you don't, people are likely to use the other hand and not be conscious of where it is, and it goes underneath and cuts their fingers. And where that's important is it's not so much for the hand plane, that would hurt, but it's when you move on to power tools, you always want your hands up above. So it's a good habit to get into it now. Not many people will end up using planes, but if you're doing this in college, it's great. You'll end up using them in college and you need to know them. And that's the toe, that's the heel, and the whole thing is like a foot, it's a sole. So you're going to start off on the toe. And if you can hold the toe there like that without holding the back, that's a fair bit of weight I'm pushing down, pressure on that. But it means that the toe is level. Then I'm going to hold the handle, and that's where you should start. So the pressure goes down on that, pushing down, and then you're going to drive through, pushing that plane into that timber and force it through. As you go through, the weight stays balanced across the whole sole of the plane. It's flat on it, and then you come through to the end and the balance transfers onto the heel. So all that time you're keeping the blade level as you can and the pressure on it. If I started here and dropped it down and then lift it off early or lift it late, you get curves up or down on the timber. You get curves up and down on your timbers, and it's not what you want. You want it flat. So that's why you evenly distribute the weight. Start off pushing down on the toe, center, and then the heel. So when that's on there, we're going to put a bit of force on that down there. And it's quite rough at the moment, this timber is fairly rough. So it doesn't go very well. You get a couple of runs at it until you smooth it out a little more. Now I can see it's a little high on this bit and not so much here. So this time I will start a little further out. I've got a knot there, so that's going to have fun to get through that. And my feet are in one place. They're quite far apart actually, because this isn't too long, so that I'm not walking through the timber. You actually want to stand fairly sturdy and push it right through and transfer your body across that as well. This is coming up a little better. Now normally you would have a line to where to go to, but that comes later. Just practice getting some shavings out of this. But it's not just the technique that you've got to use to do this, it's also the actual blade and working with the tool. So this you can adjust. This is the depth adjustment wheel, and this will turn to make that blade stick further out or less. Now I can see when I'm running this in this timber here, when you see it from the top, because of the knot, it's running okay into it and then it's running out of it. So we'll probably give this a run both directions. But this is how you learn about it, just getting into it, doing it. Let's give it one turn, see what it looks like. The other thing with planing is you'll always want to secure your timber. There's no way you'll be able to do this on the bench and that's moving around. That's bloody pointless. They're quite big, those shavings. You can get them a little smaller if your blade is nice and sharp. Let's pull that out there a bit. And I like to put the tension back on that. That's it's on there. Now, when I'm doing this as well, the blade is straight on to that timber and cutting through. I find that's okay. Some people will prefer to have the blade at a slight angle as if it's slicing through there. That's good too. Let's adjust the blade again. That's going down. I want it less than that. I want it smaller, but I like to turn that back so that the tension's on it. I'll show you this when we do the other video. That's on there. Force down, push through. Nicer shaving, slightly nicer. I'm talking a little louder today because we're testing our mic, or lack of mic. Very thin, that's very thin. So that's quite good. I'm getting down to the last detail. That's come out nice. Then to test it, take a nice clean edge. Is it actually square? Look along there and see, is that a square cut? If it's off a bit, you're going to have to tilt the plane, because when it's running on there flat, it can rock side to side. So you want to kind of keep it level. And that's why you'd have your pencil lines good to go to. But this is just a rough, quick intro to planes, bench planes. That's rough. There's not that one out of it. It's a bit rough there. Let's plane that up a little. As I said, all I'm doing here is really actually preparing for another video. But I thought I'd put these on and have a chat. Get in there. I want that a bit more. I'm going to adjust my depth. What this does is warms you up. This is a cold workshop. I could definitely do with a bit of warmth. So nothing like body heat. That's coming on okay. I'll probably turn this around now. That's in there secure. That is tight. I'll make sure that's tight. Fingers, don't go cleaning this out here. I'm going the opposite direction with the blade. And don't put metal in here to clean that out. You have to sharpen it up. Let's draw that back. Out there. Back with a bit of tension. Not much, little. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's small. That's good. Wafers. Tiny little shavings. Great. Nice little shavings there. It's a bit dark, this camera. Now, if I had another camera, I'd zoom in. But I don't. I might try and get one. That's a little bit about planing. And I'll do some more videos on all the parts, the components, taking them apart, putting that together. Okay, good. So, well, that's my prep.